We've practiced adding and subtracting mixed numbers. This is one more practice sheet on how to subtract mixed numbers, taking a whole fraction out of a whole number and using that to make the number that we're subtracting from large enough to be able to be subtracted from. So practice these. This is a review. We have other videos that have examples of these. If you have some difficulty, you can review those other videos. And you can create your own mixed numbers to subtract if you need more practice. And I hope you do well enough to pass the test. You have to get 5 out of 6 correct. This is a bit of review for some of us. It could also be a little bit more practice for those of you who need it, because we have a test this week on subtracting mixed numbers, and I'd like you to do well with it. Well, one of the first things we have to remember when we're subtracting mixed numbers is these fraction parts. Okay, we aren't looking at this part here, is we can't subtract 3 from 2. So we have to borrow a whole fraction from this 8 and include it in this 2/4. This stays the same. So the first thing to understand is this is the fraction that we're looking at. Now over here they did this in their head. They did this part in their head. But you notice these two parts stayed the same. So that's the first important step. Over here they subtracted 7 from 7. We got 0. They didn't have to put the 0 in there. They could put nothing in there because 0 and nothing are the same thing. And they just came up with the solution being 3/4. Okay, this is perfectly okay right here. All right, so let's go ahead and take this example here. Again, we're just going to look at this fraction here because we can't subtract 3 from 5. 3/11ths, we can't subtract 5/11ths from 3/11ths. This is a smaller fraction than over here. So this is the one we're going to focus on. And we're focusing on how to convert this fraction part of this mixed number so it's large enough we can subtract 5 from. And we're going to borrow a whole from this 9. So if we borrow a whole from this 9, one whole from this 9, it becomes 8. But we're going to we borrowed a whole fraction from this 9. So we have 8 plus 11/11ths, that still equals 9. So the value didn't change, just the way we wrote it changed. How we took a whole fraction out of that 9. Now we have to add our 3/11ths on there. And this whole part here, okay, this whole part here equals the same amount over here. We just converted some of the numbers, similar to what we do when we subtract in base 10. This stays the same. 4 and 5/11ths. That stays the same. Now, since we converted this over here, we're going to keep the whole number part. Okay, that part is okay. We want to make this 3/11ths, remember the beginning, we want to make this 3/11ths large enough to subtract this 5, and now we have 11 that we can add to it. So we're going to take this 11/11ths and add 3/11ths to it. That's going to give us 14/11ths. We're still subtracting the same mixed number over here. That doesn't change. But what did change was this 3 now is 14. It's a little bit of magic that we do with this side to be able to make this work. So 14/11ths is now smaller than 5/11ths, so now we can subtract. So we're going to subtract our fractions first because we're focused mostly on the fraction parts. 14 minus 5, what do you think that is? It's 9/11ths. Okay. And then 8 minus 4 is 4. So this is our final solution. We want to get back to a proper fraction over here. Okay, we want to get back to a proper fraction over here for our mixed number. So that's a quick example of how to do this practice sheet. Try it again over and over for the other fractions that we have on this sheet. And then when you feel confident enough, go ahead and take that test. And hopefully you get 5 out of 6 correct. I look forward to passing you for subtracting mixed numbers.